Bluegame BG42, guys. This is going to be a detailed sea trial. We're going for a drive, we're going to drop the anchor, and then we're going to demo how you could put this thing in the marina berth and see if it's practical. Of a luxury that this Bluegame provides. This thing is incredibly nice to drive. So Volvo IPS 650s, that's 480 horsepower each on this particular model. That's the top of the range. We've got full tanks of diesel today, so that's 2 tanks, 700 litres each, 1,400 in total. This boat will carry about 360 of water, 95 of black water. I'm going to try and convey to you as best as I possibly can the experience that I get on this, because it really is super amazing. It's a comfortable boat. This thing is going to be a step up for so many of you, and it's going to be super yacht vibes for many of you who probably already have that experience on your other boat. Now I'm just eyeing off a little boat that's on my track at the moment. I'm going to try and signify to him that I'm going to go first, and let's going to see who. There we go. I won. Thanks, mate. Sometimes you got to play chicken with them. Alrighty. So, 23 knots, just coming in at 23. Got a fuel flow of 134 total right now. Making my way through this beautiful scenic pass between these 2 rocks. A little bit of navigation to do, and I'm going to call out some more of the sensation as we experience it. Got some ducks in the water. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys enjoy these shots. I'll just go quiet whilst I make sure I correctly achieve this. 23 to 24 knots. Beautiful. That's what it's all about. So, moving into some exposed, wind exposed part of the sea here as I go around this island and do a little bit more navigation. The thing I want to convey to you guys is the sense of luxury that this Bluegame provides. This thing is incredibly nice to drive. Let's just go around a hard turn here. Okay. And I'm going to go wide of the next rock. Okay. Good amount of heel angle. I have the stabilizer on. I got the Seakeeper dryer on this boat. It is activated, still maintaining a speed of 23 to 23.5 knots. And I've got a rock to watch out for in the water. There it is. I've got eyes on the rock, going wide of that and then wide of my friend. You'll see the coloration of the water now. Beautiful. Okay, let's start playing with the speed. Going through some waves, stabilizer on, good heel angle. In the waves now, choppity chop, sending the wash out to the side. So, for those of you who've had a very, very nice boat before, and you may have, you may be sick of having to manage the thing with crew or with your mates, and you want a boat that is going to give you that same level of luxury that you are used to, but you don't necessarily want to have to bring other people to help manage the boat. This is something you should focus your attention on. This is a boat that you could leave the dock with the assistance of one person, or if you know what you're doing, you can do it by yourself. You can cruise. We've got 11,500 displacement, then you add the tanks. This thing is not an overly, let me rephrase that. It's a low center of gravity, and it's a super comfortable boat. So I'm just going to do a turn downwind into the sea in a second, go through some swells. It's such a comfortable boat to eat up miles that if you've had that bigger boat, you're going to be very familiar with the experience that you get on this thing. So now I'm going to increase my speed. Getting exposed to some wind here, that's about 20 knots. 25, speed through the water. I'm getting 165 litres on the dial. I'm going to run downwind, that's 3,000 revs, 3,100. Let's increase. 3,200, 3,300, that's wide open throttle. I've got the trim assist in auto, and we've got 177 litres on the dial. I've got a little bit of a dirty bump on this one, and we're seeing 29 knots on the dial. I'd say with a completely clean hull, this boat has been in the water for the last little while, which is probably a 30 knot boat. Let's just put it into a turn now. But I don't believe it's all about top speed. I believe it's about comfort. So feel these heel angles back to our 26 to 20 knot speed there at 3,100 revs, consuming 150 litres total. This is a boat that's got presence. This is a boat that's a tank on the outside, but it's really soft on the inside. It's the way I describe it. But from my elevated driving position here, I've got wonderful picture all the way around through the waves just there. Nice, dry, no water up on the decks. Great. I've got a really, really good sense of control of the boat because I can see that corner, I can see that corner, I can see all the way around. Even though it's relatively high sides, they're actually low from my elevated position on the deck. Because I've got the gyro stabilizer and because this boat has a lot of weight low in terms of its center of gravity, she doesn't rock around. That 11,500 kgs plus the weight of the tanks, it is noticeable. 17 degrees of dead rise and a moderately fast speed, a very acceptable speed of say 26 to 27 knots. It gets you places. The noise levels are minimal. Everyone can sit around back here and definitely up here at the helm and not have to raise their voice. I'm not raising my voice to talk to you now, and you can enjoy your transit time. So if you're here in Majorca, trips to Ibiza or Menorca, I think it's called, no worries, not a problem at all. If you're in Australia, if you're in Miami, coastal trips, I would be super happy to do it on this boat. I don't see any issues whatsoever for some of those little darts. You know, even 50 miles, if you've got to eat up the miles and just spend a couple of hours out at sea, it's going to be comfortable. But I think for those of you just wanting that ultra luxurious experience that you can manage yourself, this is where this boat stands out in quite a unique fashion. So in order to prove that, we're just going to now go somewhere and I'm going to drop the anchor, demonstrate how that whole process is, and then we're actually going to go back to the marina and stick the thing in the berth, and I'm going to film that and show you how it can be done with minimal or no crew because of the size, the design, and the layout of this boat. You know, the fender on the side of this really does give you that little bit of wiggle room that you perhaps don't have on a boat that's just got a clean, flush side, and if you bugger it up, then you embarrass yourself. So this thing, I believe, is good for those purposes. See you in the next spot and we'll drop the anchor. So welcome back to paradise, fellas. This place is absolutely amazing. I can't stop talking about how awesome Majorca is. It's just a paradise. I understand why so many boats are here. Anyway, we've come off the plane. That was a very comfortable ride over here. I just want to reinforce how dry this thing is because the wind kicked up even more on the way over here. We're into the wind, and that fender all the way around the side has the effect of deflecting any wash. So everything's dry. It's completely dry. Anyway, in terms of preparing the boat to drop the anchor, you just need to go forward. There's one little teak hatch above the windlass itself, and then there's a Spectra safety with a snap shackle. You just undo it. That's it. You're ready to rock and roll. I've got my up down for the windlass operation just here on the left side of the wheel. I've already scoped out the location for the depth. I've got seagrass and then sand, so I'm going to be dropping on the sand itself, and the bow roller sits nice and clear of the bow, so you will see that in a second when we deploy. Got everything that I need here in terms of my GPS depth, and once again, just the general design of this boat makes it super easy for a solo operator like me to come in and just see everything. From this elevated driving position, I've got really good viz on everything that's around me. I've got one boat to starboard, got swimmers up ahead, and then I've got some rocks forward and to starboard, which I'm going to avoid. 3 meters of water. What I'll do, I'll just drop 4 meters of chain, and then I'll just start going back on the sand when I'm happy. And I'm just doing it on throttle at the moment. And if I choose, I might even switch over to joystick. Let's just do that for the purpose of the exercise. I might as well. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to go windlass. Make sure I've got no forward movement. There we go. Windlass down. So, because of the design of this bow roller, I would suggest when you are dropping, but also when you are receiving or raising this anchor, just have a little bit of aft momentum, because if you do that, we'll just see if that's grabbed. If you're going in reverse at half a knot, the anchor's going to come up in the correct direction. I see a lot of guys kind of going forward when they're both dropping and trying to retrieve their anchor, and it's just not a good idea, because the anchor might then come up the wrong direction, particularly one where you do need to look over the bow. You can do it, but you know, if you've got to sight the anchor and you're not sure if it's coming up the wrong way around, it's just going to add some unnecessary drama when you could just go backwards. So there you go. Let's cut to the parking this thing at the dock and demonstrate how effective and simple it is.
Alright guys, so I'm having to narrate this one for you because my microphone broke and we ran out of time. But basically, hopefully you can tell, it's a little bit difficult for me to get these shots without doing the maneuver 3 times in a row. So I'm actually just droning from the back deck, and Andre is driving this one for you because, yeah, I just didn't have time to finish it because I had to make a move on. But I just want you to really have a look around the boat, see how easily maneuverable it is, see the space from the helm to the bow to the stern, and how basically how easy it is to access for the skipper without interfering with the guests. So he's just operating the IPS right now. I'm standing on the back deck there, so if that was your wife or partner, you can just lean up against that pole if you had another person to help. This is med mooring, obviously, so we've got the fenders out on either side, and we've got the rub rail, you know, integral part of the boat, so we're really not worried about bumping into anything. But as you can see, sight lines are good. We can just get the boat into position. If you're by yourself, you just then get a line off the dock, which we're about to do, secure it to one cleat, and then click you know, one nudging forward just to make sure you're not getting too close to the dock, and then get your other line sorted. And after that, you can run forward and get the bow line. So you can see me just collecting the port aft stern line now. I'll secure that, and Andre's coming back now to get the starboard. And if you're doing this by yourself, because of that big fender wrapping around the boat, you don't have anything to worry about. There you go, finished up on the bow.
BG42, that's the boat, fellas. I hope that was educational. I hope you got some insights into what this thing is all about. I did want to show you that last little demonstration here, getting it into the dock, because having this fender around the side, having it particularly around the swim platform at the back, combined with the fenders that you have deployed, makes life a lot easier. And our ability to walk around these decks, reach around, get the lines med mooring style, but also if we're in Australia or America, this is going to be a very simple boat to operate if you want to do that. But it's going to give you this, you know, luxurious vibe. So what does it compare to? How should you compare it to other boats? That's conversation to be had with me over in the Patreon. I will pop up a link of some competing boats right now. Feel free to get up there and watch those. And if you want to watch that extra content, it's on the Patreon. Look forward to seeing you there. You're all bloody legends, because it's you talking to your dealers and your factories that give me these wonderful opportunities to have awesome days like this. This thing just seriously transforms you into another space. It's fantastic. If you're looking for experiences, amazing adventures, experiences and memories, this thing will do that for you. Hope you enjoyed.